race with Richard Duke. Great performance from him, from the South African. Matt West, obviously we saw him do brilliant. He's done a lot of Rotex Max racing, and he's been having a great weekend so far. Mark Jaggard, well, second place in the HRCR Championship, so he's got his credentials. We've seen results from him. And James Martin, bit of a struggle earlier on with the kart switch and all this kind of thing, so he lost out a bit, but he's been a semi-finalist in a number of years, so for goodness sake, he's not to be written off, is he, at all? So we'll see what occurs. Ramon Pinero is here. We saw Ramon win earlier on an exciting race against Joris Sturm. Ramon, it's pretty exciting out there, isn't it?
Yeah, it was definitely a very good race. It was quite tense because he was behind me the whole time, but at the end I managed to sneak in after a bit of a controversial decision and a back pass flag. But,
that's okay, he blew his pit stop, so no problem. Ramon, obviously you know quite a few of these guys now. Who is your pick of this? Would you be going for Brad Philpott? Would you be going for Craig McAllister, Richard Duke, maybe even Johnny Elliott? I mean, Johnny tends to kind of end up in the difficult heats, doesn't he?
Well, he hasn't been the luckiest of guys, but last year when I raced him in this actual layout, he was really quick. But although he was quick, I think Bradley's got in the hand. He's been phenomenal since yesterday. He's been really quick to the first hit. Plus, I'm sleeping at his house, so if I don't pick him as a winner, he might check me out.
Absolutely, you may find it's a cold night tonight if you're not picking him. However, we've got Slavik Piskors on provisional pole position now from James Martin. Johnny Elliott is actually in third place at the moment. Callum Kirkpatrick is in fourth. The times are coming in. We've got Matthew West is in seventh place. We've got still Slavik Piskors. Craig McAllister's come through into second place. Brad Philpott is now in second, bumping down McAllister and the rest. James Martin fourth, Johnny Elliott's in sixth. The laps are all complete now. It's Slavik Piskors on the pole position. A great job there for the former Polish Speedway rider. Now switched to four wheels and getting better every year. Really is very strong now, Slavik Piskors. Brad Philpott running second, Craig McAllister starting third, James Martin starting fourth. Now he'll want to turn things around. He was 10th earlier on. He had a kart switch in the earlier race. Time to grab some points for him. Luke Hornsby, we were talking about him earlier on. He's now running, he's going to be starting this race in fifth. Johnny Elliott sixth. Johnny still just never quite delivers what you know he can do for one reason or another. We know he could be running up at the front here, but he's starting sixth. Maybe he'll turn it around in the race. Callum Kirkpatrick seventh. Matthew West in eighth. Richard Jute. Well, Richard Duke was on pole and won the previous race. Now he's down in ninth. What's going on? Mark Jaggard 10th. But Slavik Piskors bringing them round to the start now. We're going to have a look out the commentary box window. This could really kick off because Philpott's close behind. Craig McAllister is not going to want to hang around either. So Slavik Piskors gets on the gas. He means it. So does Brad Philpott. So does McAllister. The top four with James Martin have opened a tiny little gap there over fifth place. And it's still Slavik Piskors as they enter those hairpins. Ramon, those hairpins, one after another. You've got to be good at hairpins on this layout, haven't you?
Well, it's a combination of both. So basically, you need to make sure you don't screw neither both. Because if you make a mistake on the first one, that compromises the second one, and then that compromises the whole speed to the straight. So it's very important to be consistent in both. Absolutely,
and we've seen people gain and lose in that very respect you're talking about there, Ramon. At the moment, we've got a four-kart breakaway as a completely open lap, led by Slavik Piskors. He won a heat race last year. Maybe he'll do it again, but he's got Brad Philpott breathing down his neck. Brad Philpott opening a couple of car lengths to Craig McAllister there, with James Martin all over the back of McAllister. Then there's a bigger gap to Johnny Elliott, who's managed to jump up to fifth place from a sixth place starting place. So here we go. There's Piskors, Philpott, McAllister and Martin. Here's the gap to Johnny Elliott, and behind Johnny Elliott is Callum Kirkpatrick.
It'll be interesting to see now what Johnny can do. He has no one in front of him. We had one guy in the pit stop. It's James Martin. He just stopped with a very good pit.
Well, that's interesting. Early stop by James Martin. The only reason you'd ever want to stop this early, I'm sure you'll both agree, Steve and Ramon, is if you thought you were being held up. And that must be what he was thinking. Now, if he thinks he was being held up, it was by Craig McAllister, who we've already seen finish second.
Well, I mean, it's a bit surprising because if I'd done that, I would have waited a couple of free laps to see actually how my pace is. Because remember, this guy, no one had tested in this track, so we don't really know how this car behaves in that track or how quick it can be. But if that was his thought about it, it might go good, it might go bad.
You're absolutely right there, Ramon. That's very interesting. I mean, we're talking here with Ramon Pinero, who won the previous race. Luke Hornsby early pit stop by him. Now, he pitted out of something like 7th or 8th, 6th or 7th place. He's dropped to 8th. No, it's 9th. He's been passed by Mark Jaggard. He's been passed by James Martin. Luke Hornsby has cycled himself to the tail of the field by that early pit stop. However, he obviously feels he can manage to claw something back by being on his own there. As we see the leaders come through, that's Brad Philpott chasing down race leader Slavik Piskors. Slavik Piskors currently fastest on the circuit.
It'll be interesting to see what strategy now they both pick, because they're clear that they're faster than anyone else. So Slavik might try to do what I was trying to do in the first race, the race I won, which was standing in front of him as long as I could, and then when he pitted behind me, then pit just the lap after to cover him. Or if Brad will try to pit early and then try to put his own pace.
Absolutely, Ramon, and just like your race when it was you and Joris Sturm, the fastest lap is going backwards and forwards between these two leaders. Currently, it's Brad Philpott now who has the fastest lap of the race, and Slavik Piskors is, well, he's defending by trying to drive quicker, and that's probably got to be the best way of defending if you're up there in the front, isn't it?
Well, absolutely. I mean, the best way to defend is having no one around you. So if you can pull a gap, then for sure no one's going to be able to attack you. But we'll see. I mean, I think Bradley is a really smart guy. He's done a lot of races on pit stops, so he will wait to the right time to attack for sure. And we're going to see one attack from him.
Absolutely, a lot more experience in terms of strategy by second place Brad Philpott we can see here. There's Slavik Piskors, the former Polish Speedway ace. He is leading the way, but he does not have the second place driver. Brad Philpott's experience of handling this kind of strategy. So Brad Philpott, you'd have to say, has a potential advantage here, but Slavik Piskors has now taken the race fastest lap from Philpott. It's backwards and forwards in terms of fastest lap for these two guys, Steve.
It is. They can't be separated, can they, up round the back of the circuit? I mean, what is it, 0.487 seconds between them? And Bradley closes up yet again as they come round the top. He's looking down the inside there, just faint to move to the inside as they go through out to start another lap. But no, it's very close. And I think Bradley, as Ramon was saying, it's going to be the pit stop that Bradley's going to try and get the move on Slavik, but whether it pays off or not is another thing.
Absolutely, a bit of a lonely run there in third place, and in the pits it's the number 9. That, of course, is Callum Kirkpatrick. Now, Callum Kirkpatrick got passed by Johnny Elliott earlier on for position after the start. And he's been nailed by quite a few people there. Here they come. He could well lose a place to Hornsby. So Luke Hornsby, who we had running last, yes, Callum Kirkpatrick has been done by Hornsby. Despite trying for a better strategy there, I think Callum Kirkpatrick has unfortunately come out for the worst in that one.
Yeah, it wasn't great, was it? He was just a little bit slow on that second stop. He was waiting and waiting, and he had gone a few seconds earlier, and he could have got ahead. But nevertheless, there's still 15 minutes to go, and he's right in contention, so it's not over yet.
Absolutely, another pit stop. It's the 17. Now that's one of our front runners, I think, Johnny Elliott. Yeah, Johnny Elliott. He, what's going to happen here? The number 10. That, of course, is James Martin. James Martin, does he pass him? I'm trying to find that out there somewhere.
No, Johnny just held on.
We've got action down the bottom that the producer's rightly focusing on with the 17. Yep, so a replay. Anyhow, back up at the front, we've got Slavik Piskors with a new fastest lap of the race. Slavik is in the lead with the fastest, but look at Brad Philpott, less than a kart length behind. Steve, they're catching up a back marker, which I believe could be Mark Jaggard. I wonder if one of these two will pit or whether they'll just go for it.
It depends, doesn't it, Brad? We're not sure when he's going to make the pit stop, is he? But it depends if Mark Jaggard's going to hold them up or not. Just going back to Johnny Elliott to say, I used to race against Johnny years ago when we first started at Daytona, Manchester. And he's a fantastic driver, really, really nice lad, and it's always a pleasure to race against him. And I'm glad he's come out of the pits. He seems to have gained maybe 1 or 2 positions there. He's up into 6th place now in kart number 17, which I was in yesterday, and I didn't do too well in 17. So I think Johnny, going down the back straight, he's jumping up and down in the seat, maybe feeling a possible lack of power. So he's done well there. He's got the pit stop well, and he's up into 6th place. So see if he can hold on to that. He's got a very fired up James Martin and Luke Hornsby right behind him, and now Callum Kirkpatrick as well moving into the mix. So 4 drivers there potentially fighting over 6th place.
Absolutely, we're looking at the leaders coming through to end the lap there. That's Slavik Piskors and Brad Philpott. A little bit of a gap to with a back marker between them to Craig McAllister. Yeah, it's interesting what you were saying about Johnny Elliott. He's now got a bit of a bunch of guys behind him all looking to tackle him. However, Johnny Elliott, definitely somebody, his head needs to be in the right place, doesn't it, to get the result. You'd say that if he was an artist, what we would see would be brilliant, but an awful lot would be in the bin. However, he's a race driver, so he's always on show. So we do see a potential up and down performance by Johnny Elliott. for his sake and the point's sake, hopefully it's going to be one of those up performances.
Yeah, it is exactly, and like you say, he's doing well. He's keeping in front at the moment. He's taking a lot of time out from karting, and he was telling me to concentrate. He's buying a house, and he's sort of getting his life on track. So he seemed quite good when I asked him, because he's usually posting. I follow him on Facebook quite regularly with all his Club 100 events, but he hasn't seen anything yet. And I just inquired, what's happening, Johnny? What you're doing? And he said he's just, trying to get his life on track. He's buying a house, and it's just, it's one of those things. He does want to do the karting, but obviously, life's got to come in front.
Well, he's looking to get his racing on track in this event. He's currently 6th place. He's ahead of James Martin, Luke Hornsby. Meantime, we're back with the leaders. It is still this Slavek Piskor's versus Brad Philpott battle for the lead. Neither have come in the pit yet. Craig McAllister still back in 3rd place. He's sort of getting a bit of a watching brief. The two leaders, there they are, 1st and 2nd on screen. Slavek Piskor's holding Brad Philpott back. Philpott's got no answer at the moment. I'm wondering, is Brad just staying calm, or is this Brad's full potential? And Slavek Piskor's is pulling an absolute flyer to stay in front.
Yeah, it's very, very good, isn't it? The pit stops are going to be so exciting. We're going to have to just wait and see, because one mistake from either driver is going to determine who gets out in first. Very, very close indeed. The lap times 34.38 for Slavek and 34.34. Just literally 4 thousandths of a second between them. Nothing at all.
Absolutely, and that's the new fastest lap for this race by Brad Philpott, that 34.34. And we're going to be, we've got a huge battle going on there on screen. That's Johnny Elliott that we've been talking about. He's holding off James Martin, Luke Hornsby and Callum Kirkpatrick. And he's really having to work that out. There's Elliott, there is Martin, Hornsby and Kirkpatrick. Johnny, it does seem to be that he's actually trying to squeeze a bit of a gap ahead of these guys. They're working hard to stay with him, as Johnny Elliott's looking for maximum points he can get from this.
Well, they're fighting amongst themselves, aren't they? Like you say, Johnny's just been able to just pull away that little bit, but now again, Luke Hornsby has just dropped away ever so slightly from the back of James Martin. So
into the pits, we've got Matthew West. Matthew West has pitted out in 4th place. That promotes Richard Jute.
Yeah, he's just come out, hasn't he? I thought he might just be able to get in
he's
front
back
of him,
on the
but
track.
Unfortunately he's lost quite a few positions there. He's now down into 9th place.
Yeah, he's gone behind the Elliott, Martin, Hornsby and Kirkpatrick battle, which is about the fastest on the track, although it has to be said, Philpott and Piskor's are running a searing pace. Here they are on screen. There's Piskor's in the lead, Philpott 2nd, as we can see them coming into these sequence of hairpins, which replace this now section on the alternate layout. The second round of heats. There's Craig McAllister running in 3rd place, trying to draw him in, but he's a couple of tenths away every lap and falling back.
Yeah, it's a shame, because I say Craig McAllister, again, a very, very quick driver. Raced against him in my first heat, and I just couldn't get near him at all. He was very, very fired up. Speaking to him before the race as well, really nice chap. But he's doing very well. I say 3rd place, I'm sure he'll be happy with that.
New race fastest lap by Brad Philpott, and this is what's going on with Craig McAllister. It's not that he's slow. The two leaders are very fast, underlined by Philpott's new race fastest lap. We're looking at Johnny Elliott though, and James Martin's all over him now. What looked like was going to be a bit of a gap has actually been closed in, and it's a rearguard action by Johnny Elliott, and in fact it looks like is that Matthew West who's closing in on that battle to make it a 5-way fight for 5th.
Well, a 5-way fight, eh? Johnny Elliott's got his work cut out, but as we say, with all the experience he's got, he's the man to lead from the front, and I'm sure Johnny, if he keeps his head together, will be able to hold on to this. He's doing very, very well. Nice, tight, tidy lines. Just keep it going, Johnny.
Absolutely. And Richard Jute there in 4th place. Bit of a stealthy position because we've been focusing on the leaders. Brad Philpott, a new fastest race lap, clearly meaning business. They're still behind Slavek Piskor's. The leaders, I think they're going to leave it really late now before they actually make a start.
Yeah, it'd be very interesting, wouldn't it, if they both try and leave it until the last lap and they both go race together. It would ruin Philpott's race if that was the case. But I'm sure Brad, experienced as he is, would never let that happen. But it will be interesting. Who do you think will come in first, Brad or Slavek?
You know what? I think it'll actually be Philpott, because I think the person here, with the greatest respect to Slavek, the person here with doing the most strategic thinking will be Brad. Not that Slavek doesn't think about it, it's just Brad thinks a heck of a lot about it, yeah? So Philpott will have these parameters. Philpott's the kind of guy who'll know where he's going to come out. I actually think both of them are pretty scared of coming out in the middle of that Elliott, Martin, Hornsby, Kirkpatrick and West battle, because they know that they're quicker than those guys, and they know that to make a mistake on the pit stops, come out in the middle of that lot, is going to give the advantage to the other and probably the win.
I was just going to say, they are closing in on that massive battle, that near enough 5-kart train, and the pace they're going at, it won't take long before they are right behind it. Johnny is now literally got James Martin right up behind him. Bit of a small gap back now to Luke Hornsby, but he's still him and Calvin Kirkpatrick. They're having their own little fight. Two tiny little battles there going on for 6th and 8th place, but they're all still tightly knit. And as you say, is Slavek and Brad going to close up on this before they make the pit stops?
Absolutely, they're coming around to complete their laps, but both of them on the previous lap set a new personal best and the fastest race lap for Philpott. They are trying to draw clearer and clearer and clearer from this battle behind. Now, although the battle on the track is some way behind them, it's not to do with where they are, reference them for position. It's where they'll come out at the end of the pit stop. They do not want to be in the middle of this battle because it will hand the advantage to the other. I think they just want to get ahead, then pit. If it wasn't for this tight battle going on behind, they'll be working out where they are. I think one of them would have been in.
Yeah, it's very true. I just want to make a shout out here to Mark Jaggard. He had that huge train with Johnny Elliott and he moved right to the outside. Great race driving there, just to let the guys through without slowing him up at all. Well done, Mark.
Absolutely, very sportsmanlike behaviour there from Jaggard. Not in contention. He is running last and a lap down from the karts in front. Here's Johnny Elliott on screen, turning in with James Martin chasing him down. There's Johnny Elliott coming round. There's a little bit of gap there to Luke Hornsby, but as we've seen, this gap is constant. Now we've got someone in the pits. Is it one of our leaders? It's the 21. It's Richard Duke. Richard Duke comes out to 4th place. Where's he going to come back in? Oh, he comes back in the 7th place, just behind that nasty battle.
Here it is. That's going to make it a 6-kart train now. It's fantastic. We've got Brad in. Bradley
Philpott. Now this is important. If Duke can pit stop and come out in that train, Philpott should clear it. Philpott should clear it. Yes, he does comfortably. Now, Slavek Piskorz will probably have seen this. He'll be looking around on the track to see where Philpott has come out. He will know once he's seen Philpott has come out clear of that train, he'll know it's safe to pit. And I'm sure we'll see Slavek Piskorz in fairly soon. 6 minutes in the race. Piskorz on his own. Will he be in this lap? Yes, he is.
Yep, comes straight in.
Piskorz has seen it safe to pit and he's made that stop. Oh no, he's stalled,
Oh no, what a disaster.
What a
disaster.
Oh, and Craig McAllister comes through to take the win.
Believe it.
Unbelievable. He's surely keep your head together.
Gone again.
Stalled again. Oh my goodness.
Absolutely agonising to drive. I can feel for him there. Oh,
yeah.
Unbelievable bad luck. What a shame.
Unfortunately, that is racing, but Slavek Piskorz, that's going to be a tough pill to swallow. That really is. And let's be fair, I think he could have had the measure of Philpott. We'll see where he rejoins. We've got him listed in 3rd, but I'm not sure that's where it's really all at. We'll soon find out. Hopefully he's got away with it because that is big damage limitation. We've got Craig McAllister in the lead. If Slavek's 3rd place is Jeremy, here's McAllister in the pit. We'll see Philpott take the lead. Surely he has. We'll see Piskorz. Piskorz.
Yes,
he's done it.
Just going to do it. Very close.
Bumpers, and Piskorz takes 2nd. Now, for a man who's been in the pits and stalled twice, that is a great result coming in 2nd place, isn't it?
Well, unbelievable. Like you say, I feel like he's dropped 20 quid and picked up 6pence. Incredible stuff. But at least he's been able to keep that 2nd place. You could tell that he was never going to give that up, that 2nd place, no matter how close Craig McAllister was coming out of the pits.
And that's one fired up Polish driver, because guess what we've got, Steve? A new race lap record by Slavek Piskorz.
Say driving with venom there, wasn't it? 34.29229. Very, very quick time. But as you say, driving with it, he's going to be seething. I can't even put into words what he'll be thinking in that. It's probably not going to be publishable anyway, what he's thinking and saying in that helmet. But, well, like you say, racing is one of those things, but very hard to swallow. I don't know many Polish swear words, but I'm sure Slavek's using a few of them right now. He obviously has a big gap now, 7-second gap to Brad Philpott. In terms of what happened, it's a get out, isn't it? He's going to be 2nd. I'm sure he would like to think he could take the fight to Philpott had he not had a double stall in the pits. But let's be fair, Philpott's been running very fast. He is Philpott. Well, actually, it is Slavek Piskorz with the fastest race lap so far. So it's a bit unfair to suggest that Philpott might well have done him when they were away from each other in the pit stop. So I actually think that. In my heart, I feel that Philpott might have actually won this race. I'd say, if I was to make a guess with a fair shout, I'd say 60-40 in favour of Brad Philpott. But Slavek will feel that he really should have won this one, I'm sure. It was. It's a real shame, because it would have been a great battle to see them as well coming out of the pits side by side. And as you say, Bradley Philpott, he won't believe his luck, will he? I mean, like you say, he would have seen Slavek sat in the pits, pointing at his engine as he's gone past and think, wow, couldn't get any better, really, could it, for him?
A new race record by Slavek Piskorz. You know, he really has the bit between his teeth. There's no stopping this this driver. Maybe I'm wrong that Phil Pott was being most likely to come out on top, because Slavek Piskorz is just going faster and faster and faster. He's done a bunch of laps quicker than Brad Philpott now. There's Johnny Elliott sort of bounced up and down. I'm not sure that does an awful lot for the kart, but it's probably a psychological thing. Johnny just feeling like he's getting that little bit more out of it than he might have otherwise.
Yeah, that's what I do it as well. As you say, I don't think it does anything really for performance, but it just makes you feel like egging the kart on a bit to say, come on, get a move on.
Absolutely. Johnny Elliott is now up into 4th place behind Craig McAllister. That's a jump up from where he was. We're seeing Elliott on screen now. That's him leading that little group there. It is James Martin in 5th behind him. Luke Hornsby in 6th, Callum Kirkpatrick. We've got Matthew West behind that. Richard Jutes has dropped to 9th, and Mark Jaggard. Mark Jaggard is running in 10th, albeit a lap down on the next driver. Still Slavek Piskorz in 2nd place, and still with the fastest race lap. But we've got two and a bit minutes to go.
Say Slavek, it's such a shame. I can't tell you, I can't get over it. 34.225 as well. It's a quick lap. He is driving so well, and it's just a shame that we couldn't see those guys having the fight out to the death. It's still it's points for Slavek, isn't it? You've got to think 2nd place. He's still in the end probably going to be happy with that once he calms down.
Absolutely, it would have been this or the win. It's not like he's dropped 5 places with a problem. You know, he's not finished any further back than he might have. He and Phil Pott were pulling away. It would have been a straight fight to finish, so he would have been either 1st or 2nd, and as it happened, despite the problem, he still got 2nd. So still a great gain in points for Slavek, and it will help him in his quest to make the semi-finals this year.
Yeah, it's still, he's like you say, he's still going to be right up there, isn't he? Very quick driver. Good shout out as well to Craig McAllister. He's there in 3rd place again. It's another very consistent result for him if he can hold on for that. Absolutely,
and Craig McAllister has set his personal best race lap just on this last lap, as you talk about him. Slavek Piskorz is you know, closing in all the time on Brad. He's got it down to around 6 seconds. He's about to cross the line. It may well be closer than that. Yes, he's down to 6.0. He's made up over a second, maybe 2 seconds on Phil Pott since the problems in the pits. He's still the fastest on the track in this race. McAllister has, in 3rd place, has set a new personal best. He's getting faster with every lap as well. And Johnny Elliott continues to hold on ahead of James Martin in this big battle over 4th place.
It's Craig McAllister, like you say, setting his fastest lap on the last lap. That sounds like me. I don't know how I do it, but we'll go into a 2-3 hour endurance and I'll set my fastest lap with 2 laps to go. I'm absolutely exhausted, and somehow I managed to do it. Oh, we've got to look at that side by side.
Elliott, gosh. James Martin, has he lost that? No, he's been able to maintain position, but that got Alexander. Here's the replay. Martin down the inside, clatters off the side of Elliott, shunts him wide, realises he's going to get a penalty, so has to let him back through, but most importantly, doesn't want Hornsby taking advantage.
No, and it very nearly did.
Shots in front of Hornsby there to shut him down. Anyway, the checker flag is coming out. It's going to be Brad Philpott. 2 race wins for Philpott. Slavek Piskorz, an amazing 2nd place, and then on the last lap there, that is his fastest, previous lap, penultimate lap. Slavek Piskorz sets a new race record. It's going to be Craig McAllister in 3rd place, I'm sure. And here comes Johnny Elliott for 4th place. Johnny's going to be pleased with that one. He started 6th. He's made up a couple of places. I think that's a result for the Elliott camp, isn't it?
Yeah, well done to Johnny there. He drove well, he kept his head, and yeah, I'm sure he'll be pleased with that 4th place. So James Martin coming through in 5th, he drove well. Luke Hornsby, after that poor qualifying, coming through in 6th. Callum Kirkpatrick there in 7th.
Absolutely. We saw Elliott, Martin, Hornsby and Kirkpatrick run 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th. Matthew West came in 8th. Richard Jute, he's gone from
for Jute. He'll be
absolutely
with that.
One end of the scale to the other. He won his first heat race, running at the back in the 2nd one. Jaggard brings out the top 10, obviously in 10th place.
Well, Richard Duke, that says it all, doesn't it? I mean, that's how competitive BRKC is this year. He was at 1st place in the 1st race, and then he finished his 2nd to last.
Absolutely.
It's that close, and it all depends who you get drawn with in the heat. But like you say, he could bounce back from that in the next one. He could be 1st in his next
well,
race.
He can. I think in his 1st race, he won it on speed. In this race, not qualifying on pole meant he needed some experience, mostly with strategy. Naturally, it wasn't going to be there because this is his first time in this kind of racing. So Richard Jute, he found himself out strategized, I think, really by the others, and he found himself in 9th place. But a good show. He's not slow. Everybody is just around about a second apart, so that's not someone driving slowly, that's someone just getting out-strategized.
Yeah, it's very, very close, isn't it, between them all? All 9 drivers within the 34.5 second boundary. Very, very close, and let's hope the next heat will be just as good. We've got some fantastic drivers coming up in this one. One of them being my mate from Blackpool. We've got Adam Davis, and this one the Team Sport Elite champion this year, the 2016 Northern champion in the lightweight category. Adam is seriously fired up. He's doing very well. He finished 6th place in his first race against a lot of quick drivers. Didn't let his head drop, and I'm going for him to try and get somewhere in this one. You've got Ross O'Meara as well. He's again a friend of Johnny Elliott's. Again, quick driver. I used to race against him from Manchester. So it's going to be interesting, this one, James. We've got a few drivers that are going to be up there. Sam Slater, Ben Churchill. He did well in his first race, finished 2nd, I think. Tom Van Dyke. Tom Van Dyke's having a great weekend, isn't he? He's one of the quickest drivers. Got a quick lap time yesterday. I think it was 2nd quickest, Tom, last time, and he won his first race. So this could be a cracking heat. Okay, so taking the entry for this one, this is the 8th of 10 heats in the 2nd round. Taking it from the top in the entry there, obviously, Steve, you've run through a whole bunch of them there. We've got Kilian Stodder, who was 2nd in the championship, in the Junior Belgian Championships in 2012, since done a lot of racing at the more senior level. We've got Luke Jones, who, of course, former Super 1 racer with the factory Burrell team. Again, outdoor racing, it's a bit of a different gig, so we'll see how he does in that. I've been saying his name all wrong because it is actually spelt as if it's Ross O'Meara, but it's actually Ross O'Mara. We've been told over the internet that by those watching who know Ross that we've actually got his name a bit wrong. So it's Ross O'Mara. He's going to be the 3rd entry there. Michael Beddoes, we've seen plenty from him. Adam Davis, you went through. He's, of course, the Team Sport Elite champion 2016, so we'll see what he does. Franklin Richter has come over from Denmark. Franklin Richter, Danish driver there. Sam Slater, Team Sport Chase the Ace runner-up. It's always going to be a hard one, that one. And so, he's done well in that one, Sam Slater. Ben Churchill. Ben Churchill we saw show well earlier on. In easy pick midfield, potential to run at the front. Jamie Harrison, we saw Jamie earlier on. He's normally racing Formula V in car racing. This is obviously the sort of winter racing for him. He finds himself in the British Championship. Tom Van Dyke. What can we say about Tom? He was 5th in the Junior World Championship in 2015, 2016 as well, and 3rd in the Polish Championship in 2016. So a lot of credentials from the young Tom Van Dyke there. I think my tip for the win in this one would be Tom Van Dyke. What do you reckon, Steve? Yeah, Tom's going to be up there, but like you say, there's a lot of drivers up there. Sam Slater, very quick driver. Ben Churchill, very quick driver. Adam Davis, they're all there, and that's what could make this one a thing. But I'll agree with you. I'd say Tom Van Dyke for this one, with Adam Davis going to be a strong 2nd, and Sam Slater in 3rd.
Yeah, well, as
I could dream.
You just nail it there, Steve. We'll see what happens. Obviously, our predictions rarely come true, but you could be on something there. There's an interesting mix here of drivers who are real standouts and others who are looking to pick up something where they can in this particular race. We're looking down there. We can see the lineup just being held up. I think we're getting everybody in position. May well be waiting on a driver. Certainly waiting for someone to get in. Is that Van Dyke waiting for it? No, I don't think so. Waiting for someone at the back there. They're checking over a cart before the driver gets in it. Formula Fast are really big on trying to make as even as possible a fleet as they can. It's not easy, but they spend a lot of time checking and testing the carts always. They're testing between races and definitely overnight. We're seeing quite a consistent fleet here, which is always important in a rental kart race. You can never get things identical, but if you want to get identical, you don't get much closer than here at Formula Fast.
No, you really don't. They do a fantastic job. We've seen them in the pits when they're working on the carts, as you say, in between races. And no, it's a very, very close knit, and most of the carts are very, very well matched. But this will be an interesting session. So I think we've got all the drivers ready now in the pit lane, so we should be ready. This should be a very interesting qualifying session. Bring it on.
Absolutely. You can see on screen there all the carts lined up in the pit lane. Their first lap out, you can see they're just leaving now onto the track. they cross the line. Now, sometimes a reasonable indicator to how things are going on the lap is this out lap, because they cross the line and then they cross it again to start their actual qualifier and then complete it. But on this out lap, we can get a little bit of a picture, so long as it's not the first kart out. We get a bit of a picture on how that driver's doing. In fact, in some cases, we've seen some people with a slightly faster out lap than others in qualifying to get to the second group.
It's very true. I always try and go the absolute quickest I can on the first lap, just so when I go under the bridge and I see my name on, if it's on the top, it gives you that bit of a boost just to think, wow, I'm first. I've got to keep that first place. Also, we've got problems in the pits for Adam Davis there. He's in car number 19. He's obviously not happy with it, and something's getting changed.
Well, that's a bit serious there, because we're going to have to restart the qualifying by the looks of it. I think they're going to bring him back in the pits. Adam Davis, everyone went out to qualify, and Adam Davis was left on his own back there. Obviously a problem with the kart switch. Is that the one they were looking at earlier on, and there's then subsequently been a problem and they've had to restart?
I'm not sure. It was number 19 that he was having a problem with, so whether that is or not, I'm not sure. But he's something certainly not right with it, that his figures, you know, I want to change, and they're going to have to sort of obviously fix the car or sort him out with a spare.
Okay, well, we'll keep our eyes on that situation. That's Adam Davis, who's having to switch to another kart. It looks like he's going to be in number 13. We'll see what happens. They're going to restart the whole qualifying, so there's no real problem. And actually, they're restarting